Now welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
I think today we're going to talk about one of our favorite topics on this channel. Talking about Andor.
Why did that sound like Sega?
Because I'm glad you caught that.
Okay.
That's what I was going for. I don't know
Okay.
why I was thinking about my Game Gear today, because I used to have a Game Gear.
I never had a Game Gear. I had a Genesis.
I do find it particularly fascinating that, despite the fact that Skeleton Crew is less than a month away, we have gotten less marketing for it than we have been getting for Andor already.
That's because they know.
Good.
I wonder what kind of internal hopes they have for Skeleton Crew.
I don't know.
Because we did hear the rumors a while back about how they didn't really know what to do with it, and it kind of was a mess, and here it is. So maybe it is a mess, and they're like, well, we got to be ready for what's next. I mean, I hope not. I'm not trying to be pessimistic. That's just what we heard, and it might be true, it might not be.
Yeah, because let's just put it plainly. They are building momentum for Andor Season 2. Just crazy momentum. After D23 Brazil and that little look ahead to 2025.
Yeah, 10 seconds and like 5 clips.
Well, there's a whole lot more to look forward to because Empire Magazine revealed the cover, and it's Andor.
Yeah, for their like next year,
It
like
is
shows
the
to
main
come,
topic.
right?
Yeah, and this comes out November 21st.
Okay, so like a week.
Yeah, we're going to have an article to comb through. Get excited about. On the cover of the issue, there is, of course, Cassian, front and center, looking pretty sharp, looking less like a street thief guy.
Is he like getting involved in bigger and better things now? Is he like kind of going undercover now? Is that what we should take away kind of from this? Because he looks fancy. He's going
wearing
out
like
on
rich
the night on town.
people clothes. I mean, he's not looking lower class like he was all last season.
No, jeez.
For the most part, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But his haircut, everything about him, he looks like he's moving up in the rebellion, let's just say. There's also, of course, Genevieve O'Reilly. We got Mon Mothma. And we did already have confirmation of this, but Ben Mendelsohn, Orson Krennic, has made the cover.
I like that they just took like a Rogue One image and just cut him out and put him on there. Because he's like that in Rogue One. That is like a shot.
That might just be like he is now, though.
Maybe he's just stuck.
No, I think that's literally the exact same look for him.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's taken directly from Rogue One. That's like a shot from Rogue One, I'm thinking.
I don't 100% think so. I think he just still looks the same. I think he doesn't age because there's a separate shot that they did of just
okay.
him.
I'm seeing this shot and maybe it's possible.
He just looks the same. Maybe he really is a Skrull.
My goodness. Crossover we never wanted.
Nobody wants that. But yeah, I mean, in August, he was kind of confirmed that he was going to be coming back. The fact that they put him on the cover has to mean he's doing more important things, right?
Well, he's a big part of the Death Star plans. We know that.
I love that they put on the cover Andor, the return of the show that shook the galaxy. Because that's exactly how it feels.
Like I said in the video the other day, like I'm very, very curious to see the ratings this time. To see if there's this drastic improvement over season 1, which was kind of lackluster. And just
I think word of mouth helped it in the long run, right?
I think so. I mean, I know a lot of channels out there like us kind of praise it continuously. So, and some channels don't, I'm sure. Some people don't like it. But it is fantastic. Every time I get the chance, I tell people to watch it, and no one is ever disappointed.
Look at the lineup on this cover. We've got, what do they got in here? Captain America, Brave New World, Predator, Badlands, Thunderbolts, Tron, Ares, Severance, Daredevil, and yet Andor took the cover.
As well it should.
They could have easily done some, like, hodgepodge Marvel collage for the cover.
Yeah, it's actually...
with Thunderbolts, Captain America, and Daredevil, but they gave it to Andor.
That's a good point. Like, Marvel is the thing. It's the big thing. So Star Wars getting the nod over it is pretty impressive.
They could have even come out and been like, look, Disney coming next year and thrown Tron in there too. But no, they didn't.
Yeah, it's not going to throw Tron up there.
But they didn't. They stuck with Andor, and I feel like that says something about the show.
I think it has a very diehard following. We know that. It's just a matter of how big that following is now. Has it grown? And I'm very curious. And what'll be curious if it is a drastic, say it's a drastic increase, like twofold or something, or even more. What does Lucasfilm take away from that? What does Disney take away from that?
We shall see.
Just theoretically, let's say, and again, I'm not rooting for it to do this, but let's say Skeleton Crew bombs. Terrible ratings, just doesn't resonate with anybody. And then you have Andor, which sees threefold increase in viewership from, it did a couple of years ago. Does that really impact the direction Lucasfilm decides to take Star Wars? Where they see improvements when they take it very serious and kind of gritty and dark, and then when they do kind of family friendly, no impact. I don't know, just something to think about.
It's an interesting thought. They also gave us a new, nice, high-res image of Cassian from the show. Looks good.
Hey.
Looks crisp. I like the colors. I like the costuming.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Diego Luna. Hey, he's a handsome man.
Yes, he is. Handsome picture. But they did give us a couple teases, of course, from the article. We have a couple little quotes they gave us in advance. Diego Luna did talk about the journey that Cassian is on in the new season. He says, he's a man fully committed to the rebellion. It's someone who has to ascend. There's a huge mountain for him to climb in order to become the guy we meet in Rogue One.
Yeah, I mean, there is a gap between we talked about it before, the selfish guy that we kind of see in Andor Season 1 and the I am all for the cause. And
I would do anything for the cause.
Yeah, I mean, by the end of Season 1, we see the transformation clearly beginning when he goes to Luthen. It's like, either kill me or I'm joining. Like, that's your choice. So
that was a wonderful moment, honestly.
That was a great moment, and it was a well-earned moment after that first season, because after the prison experience, you can understand why he's not so thrilled with the Empire anymore.
We also, of course, know K2SO is coming back, Cassian's buddy. And Diego Luna said this about the relationship between the two of them. From an audience perspective, they've probably made their own story about how Cassian and K2 got to work together. Tells you a lot about Cassian, that his best friend is a droid. And a droid he had to reprogram. But how did it actually happen? And who was he before? Those questions are going to be answered.
Well, they were once answered.
In a comic book? Yeah, but this'll be better.
Yes,
this is one of those times when I'm willing to let them change the canon.
Yeah, I'm 100% confident it'll be better than the one-shot comic book.
But what's interesting is K2 and Krennic are not the only new elements in Season 2.
Returning elements?
He said this is new elements.
Well, they're new in Season 2, but they're returning from Rogue One.
Returning from the show. He says, we move in space more than ever. The amount of planets and sets you're going to see, there are some locations familiar and new.
Yavin, we know that.
And Naboo. I had some leaked images ages and ages ago.
Naboo.
That the Andor cast was shooting at a location that was used in the prequels.
One of the palaces or whatever,
Yes. I thought that's interesting.
That is interesting.
But on the subject of Yavin, seeing as you brought it up, we do know that Gilroy has already kind of talked about it in the new season. He said we're going to see a lot of it.
Okay, well, that's where they make their secret base.
He says, I mean, we have to end up in Yavin, right? So we'll tell the story of Yavin. No one has dealt with Yavin the way we will be doing it.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but I'm excited.
There's a lot of history there, too, that they could... I mean, I don't think that's what he meant, but, there's history there.
There's also, in this article, an interview with Ben Mendelsohn. They have to have a little discussion with him. He's back. It's exciting. He's got competition, because he's going to be working closely with Dedra.
Has she moved up the ranks, I wonder?
He sees her as there's an underling, and she's obviously probably gunning for his job.
Sure.
I mean, we see how serious she is. Ben Mendelsohn doesn't really think it's a match, though. He says, if they didn't see eye to eye, to me, it's cute. Dedra versus Krennic? I think it's a bit of a mismatch. They're all underlings to Krennic. They're all going in one direction. The Empire, if you speak your mind, there are differences of opinion. Do you think he's going to get her killed?
Interesting.
Do you think he could take her out?
I think so. He does what he has to do.
He's crazy that way. I like that. I liked it a lot. And the return of Krennic could also, of course, mean the return of Tarkin. Because they obviously have history, and the CG Tarkin wasn't great.
Yeah,
but they could try again.
At first, you don't succeed.
I mean, Guy Henry, he did the CG performance, and I don't know. But they did kind of ask him about, will we see Tarkin's return? He says, I can't answer that. And I delight in not being able to answer your question. It's a beautiful thing.
Nice.
It is a beautiful thing. Yeah. I like that he's like, I'm not telling you.
I could.
Yes or no.
As long as it looks good, I could see it. I don't think they would do it again if it's not. I mean, that was like 7 years ago at this point, or 8 years ago. So
they've advanced.
You would really hope so.
I mean, Luke looked so much better.
Luke looked better in Book of Boba Fett than he did in Mando, I think. Yeah.
They stepped up from there, so I feel like they're not going to backtrack to go, let's just do that Rogue One look again.
No, I'm just saying, like, even in Book of Boba Fett, there was... And I think it's because he was being very calm and kind of placid, and trying to portray Luke like that kind of actually hurts that he wasn't more animated in a way, if that makes sense. But
one thing that I would find incredibly interesting, though I don't think this will happen, and this is just some crazy theory, because that's what Naboos do...
There's more than one of you?
Could there be? Okay, let me go over my crazy theory here.
Sure.
My thought. All right, so let's say that they do put Tarkin in this. Let's say they do a better CGI Tarkin in this. Do you think that they alter the Disney Plus version of Rogue One with a better looking Tarkin?
Pray they alter it no further.
I'm just saying. I mean, George Lucas released special editions and altered and changed things. I could see that being something. Yeah. Why not?
Maybe the Leia too. While you're at it.
I'm just saying, it's very possible they could go and they could fix the CGI on those on Disney Plus. Yes, your home release is going to be sadly lacking, but hey,
I could see it.
They could always re-release a version, a Blu-ray or a higher def version.
I don't think there's a 4K
once
version.
Andor comes out.
Yeah, there's no 4K
So why
version
not take the time and go, hey, we also made Tarkin and Leia look better. Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah, why not?
I think it's a great idea. Disney, if you're listening, I have great ideas. And I would charge a very minimal fee for them. Kidding.
You would charge them a lot.
They would just do it. They would never even say that I gave them the idea, so it's fine.
No, it would be interesting if they put him in there and he looks really, really good. Like I said, test run for other characters or doing Luke more in depth and larger
well, I mean, we'll
role.
see.
I don't know. Or Han or Leia or any of them, or recasting them, because they do have that problem of you're playing in the Mandoverse, but you're not bringing in the big dogs. At some point, we're all going to wonder, why is Han or Luke and Leia hands off when Thrawn's about to rule the galaxy?
They would have to be like, well, there's this bigger battle going on somewhere else. I mean, they don't know that this small elite team needs to take care of this, but Luke and Leia and Han are needed elsewhere. Theoretically,
you could say that. I mean, it's not. It's the same thing when people are like, well, why weren't they in the original trilogy? Well, there's a lot going on in the original. There's other battles, other places, and not everybody has time for their story to be shown. But anyway, I think it'll be curious when we get to that. If the technology is there, will they go all in and bring those guys back for a movie someday?
Merely a quandary.
But for now, that's all we got for you this time. It is your turn to take to the comments below and tell us what you think about any and all of today's news, and let's talk some Star Wars. And so until next time, thanks for watching.